Appreciate your time and cooperation this afternoon. Approximately 1:33 p.m. We were dispatched, so Foley Fire and supporting units were dispatched to an aircraft crash here at the Foley Municipal Airport involving a single aircraft that had crashed and was on fire. We arrived on scene to find the crash located about midways of the airport runway. It did involve a single aircraft. That aircraft is a Magni M-16, technically known as a gyroplane, often referred to as a gyrocopter. It is a tandem, but it had one occupant being the pilot. The pilot was deceased at the time we arrived. The pilot is a male, age 67, who is a pilot that flies out of this airport, so nothing unusual about that. All indications was that he died at impact. So we've been processing the scene first to put out a small fire. This aircraft only involves about 9 gallons of aviation gas, so the fire was relatively small, and we're not dealing with a hazardous material scene because of the small amount of fuel. We put out that fire, secured the scene at that point with the help of Foley PD, shut down the airport because that was the next major step. We need to make sure this airport was shut down. It's been done so both locally and officially, and then working with officials with the FAA, NTSB, and the Baldwin County Coroner's Office to further process the scene. As you might imagine, working with FAA and NTSB takes quite a bit of time. So literally up until the last few minutes, we have been talking with them about how they wish for us to proceed. The scene will be their scene. Based on last report from them, NTSB has assigned an investigator who's coming out of DC. They will be here, we believe, in the morning to work the scene. We will secure it until that happens. The body of the deceased is in process of being recovered at this moment. And so at this time, we're just working with all those agencies to make sure that we do this both in the right manner, but in the most respectful manner as we can. Obviously, there's a victim here, there's a family here involved. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of them, and it will take some time for all this to be processed so that this airport can get back open for service. I would expect that to take at least 2 or 3 days. So,
Chief,
yes.
Was there any kind of radio contact with was there any kind of communication between the airport and the pilot?
To my knowledge, no, but just observation. They do observe these flights, and there was some observation there. And so any of that information from staff here is going to be critical to that investigation, and we'll certainly rely on NTSB to process all of that. Of course, for this being a local municipal airport, these folks know each other. These often are folks that fly together, train together, students, teachers, all those, close relationships. So it's a big undertaking and a big impact on the folks here at the airport, that they're dealing with the loss of someone as well.
And I assume then the airport itself will be shut down until NTSB clears the scene?
That is correct. And then, of course, we have to make sure that there's no damage to the airport runway itself that would harm anybody else in the future. So there's a lot of processes there to make sure that we get open, but officially it has been closed. That's done through some channels with FAA, but also here you'll be able to note from the air that there are large X's on either end of the runway, and that denotes that this runway is closed. So,
Chief, can you say whether or not the pilot has routinely flown that aircraft from this airport?
I can say yes, that is something that was a routine flight. Nothing unusual about this particular incident. It will. So, just like on our roadways, these are infrequent, but they do happen. It's been a little bit of time since we had one in the Foley area, but we are no strangers to aircraft incidents. We've had military aircraft and we've had private aircraft even on this airport property go down in the past. And so, it doesn't make it any easier. These are tough situations for us to work. I applaud the response from all of our agencies here in Foley. We got here very quickly. Unfortunately, in this case, there was really no help that we could render.
The neighbors that were watching him earlier fly around and videoing him and said he was low, just almost like he was running along the runway. Is there any indication? I don't know if you can tell what went wrong.
No, I'm not going to speculate at that. I can say this based on reports we had. This was pretty low altitude crash. He wasn't really very far up in the air based on reports that we had. So not like some that we've worked with much higher altitude. But when it went wrong, it went catastrophically wrong, unfortunately.
And his family has been notified.
Yes.
I understand his wife was here earlier.
That, to my knowledge, that is correct. Yes.
So are they local? I mean, are they from Foley?
I believe it's safe to say yes.
Okay.
So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. This is a tragic incident.
What were the conditions at the time of the crash?
Uh,
Weather conditions?
As far as weather conditions, much like we see here, and that's a question that we ask, and based on the response we got, that would not have been a factor. That these aircraft routinely fly in these type of conditions and what we would presume as worse conditions as this. So.
Do you know about how long he was flying before the crash happened?
I don't have that information. You know, certainly he had just fueled up. I can say that he fueled up. Again, small tanks, so these things don't fly long distances, but it's routine to see this type of aircraft fly in our area. We're no stranger to these aircraft. A number of them fly right here out of this FBO, and so that wasn't unusual for us to get that type of report.
When will you have any kind of updated information?
Yeah, at this point, again, NTSB is officially in charge of the investigation, and of course, once they get here, it's their scene. We'll be working to make sure that we satisfy their requirements for security. As far as releasing information about the deceased, that'll be the coroner's office to be able to do that, and the body will be sent to the Department of Forensics Sciences in Mobile to go through full autopsy. That is a matter of procedure as well.
One more thing, the neighbors said that when they were watching him fly, then they heard an explosion. Does that jive with what?
So the impact from the crash itself is going to create noise, and then again, having avgas is not known to be extremely explosive, but it's highly flammable. So thus you have the impact, the ignition of the avgas and the fire. So I wouldn't say it was a large explosion, but that does fit the scenario.
They heard a boom.
So yeah.
They said there was a boom.
Yes. Yep. This is again a bit of a unique type of aircraft, being a gyroplane. So it's kind of a combination of a helicopter and airplane, if you will. It is very different in that the rotor is not powered, and it doesn't have wings. So it's really neither helicopter nor airplane. It's unique, and but like any aircraft, when things happen, it's going to be catastrophic oftentimes. So. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and again, we remind folks, please keep all involved in your thoughts and prayers. They'll certainly need it during this time. So.